Welcome to another episode of the InnerFight Podcast. My name is Marcus Smith, founder of InnerFight.com, and I'm back with the coaches, Phil, Matt and Carmen, to answer your questions, let you know what's going on, and hopefully help you out in your journey to becoming the very best version of yourself. No matter where you are in the world, thanks for tuning in. Let's jump right in. Oh, do I think it's working?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Is it? Phil's still eating his breakfast, but we're still recording. We started recording. This is it, podcast 193. Thanks for... Are your headphones too loud, Phil? Thanks for tuning in, folks, and welcome to another edition of the InnerFight Podcast. We have a bunch of questions, some news updates, and a load of other stuff to talk about. But first off, I want to kick it off with an event that's happening locally. Happened last weekend. It's on again this weekend, the 2015 Dubai Fitness Championships here in Dubai. Probably one of the people that are most qualified to speak about this. Carmen Bosmans was down there the whole weekend. Carmen, give us your wrap-up of what happened at the first week of the Dubai Fitness Championships.
Very impressed by our athletes like Laura, Maria, Scott. Ben did really, really well. I think Laura and Maria qualified with the girls, and Ben with the guys. I think he got like 9.
I think Ben was
place.
Ben ended up 11th. Yeah, that's really cool.
So that's pretty impressive if you see at the athletes who were there.
Yeah, a lot of people come in from overseas for that event as well, right?
Yeah, I think there's at least like 5-6 games athletes
right and
competing at the men's.
A couple of foreigners that flew in and never really made the cut.
No, they changed the cut a bit.
They changed the cut a bit
because some important guy need to be there.
That's the way it goes, I guess. And then, so just so people know, it was open to anyone on the first day.
Yeah,
on the Thursday.
Oh, I forgot to say, Mohammed Kasim competed the first day. Who else?
Minhal,
Minhal,
Christoph.
I didn't see them
Salam
compete.
not do it?
I wasn't there
busy
that early.
working.
I was busy working, and then I came in the evening.
Right.
So yeah.
And so on the first day, anyone can jump in, and then it was cut to 40, but then it was 50 because the same guy that didn't make the cut the second time. Yes, Phil, we can hear you.
No, it's quiet.
You want to be louder? That's because your headphones are quiet. These technical guys.
Maybe is it?
Here we go.
Sure.
Are you loud enough now?
I'm alright.
Everyone's okay. So the first day anyone can enter. And I think that was something that's quite cool. Obviously, Mohammed entered, knowing that he probably wouldn't make it to the second day, but
they said
just had a
crack.
crack.
Enter, but it was a tough.
It was a hard workout.
So 60 kilo thrusters, toaster bar, double unders.
Not easy at all.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the athletes who flew over were surprised about the deck squats, and then you could see people who were a bit local here. They knew it was a bit common, so you could see they were much better in it.
What do we think generally about that movement, the deck squat?
I kind of like it. I don't.
Phil?
It's just whatever.
It's just whatever?
Yeah.
I know, because
I don't like it. And it's just, it's not, I don't know. It's just
I'm not sure about using
I wouldn't
it for
get excited about it.
I had a couple of funny bits about it. So I watched it on YouTube. It's all streamed live on YouTube. And Grant Goes was interviewing people at the end. And all of the foreign athletes kind of, to be honest, had a dig about it. They didn't belittle it, but they sort of like, oh, this isn't the movement we use. And I'm like thinking, well, you know, the whole thing of CrossFit is unknown, unknowable, all this, that, and the other. And then they're crying because there's a movement there that is like, it's quite a challenging movement. Yeah. And then on the second part of it, I saw on Amelia's Snapchat that I didn't realize this until I actually saw it, but the standard was that you touched your chin with the top of the kettlebell, and she had a big mark on her chin where she basically just so you pull it up to touch your chin, and she'd basically bruised or gashed, smashed her chin. I can imagine teeth going everywhere.
Last year, I was probably really similar to all those guys that are coming over and complaining about it because there's all this new stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is rubbish, but it's basically because I was bad at it, because I'd never done it before.
Right.
And then when you actually, my attitude's a lot different this year. When you look at something like that, basically you're doing a sit-up and then a squat, and then sometimes you had to push it overhead as well. We had to do that last year.
Yeah, with the ball in the pool, right?
It's pretty basic.
Yeah.
And you've just got to accept that if you want to say you're the fittest person there, then if one person can do it, if Scott Wilson can do it, then you should be able to do it. Scott Wilson's bashing out deck squats.
I mean, like a boss.
Do you know who is his biggest fan?
Who's his biggest fan, or who he's the biggest fan of?
I'm going to say Noah Olsen.
It's Noah Olsen. I arrived there the second day, and I saw Noah Olsen over the fence, and I was like, okay. And he was actually encouraging Scott. He was like, "Come on, Scott, come on."
Maybe Scott.
I got it on my Snapchat.
That's an example. But if someone can do it, if one person can do the movement, then technically everyone should be able to do it.
Everyone should be able to do it.
Yeah, you've kind of got to get over that. You don't know what a deck squat is. If you've done any research on the Dubai Fitness Championship, you'd probably assume that they were going to be in. Yeah. Probably some devil's press coming up. There'll be some dumbbell snatch coming up. They like
some flying push-ups.
Yeah, they like movements like that, and it's just. They're not saying that it's a CrossFit competition. CrossFit doesn't let you say it's a CrossFit competition. Yeah. So they're using the movements that they want to use. So.
But isn't it funny? I mean, mate, you were there obviously in the games when they put the pegboard in. Yeah. You really enjoyed it because you're quite good at it. But I imagine there was quite a lot of interesting, similar chat around that as well.
Anyone that couldn't do it said it was crap. But if one person could, what Dave Castro said afterwards is, if one person can do it, then it's a fair test. Yeah. If nobody could do it, then it's a silly test. Then it's not a good test because
a pegboard.
That's what he's talking about. Yeah.
What have you been?
Somewhere else.
There was half the guys could do it. Yeah. So therefore, why couldn't the other half? They just weren't.
So where does that take us? What is that the limit, or is there a limit? Is it whatever you sort of think of? Because you look at, let's stay with Dubai Fitness Competition for a minute here. If you look at the third day in the pool, the event was really tough. It was a 25-meter swim, and then I don't know if it started on the bottom of the pool or it started on the side, but you then had to take a 25-kilo plate back that 25 meters. Yeah. And again, I watched a lot of it. I watched a lot of the highlights. As guys, and it had to be underwater, so guys are ducking down and they're literally rolling it I don't know, a meter, and then having to come up for oxygen. But at the same, so a lot of people didn't finish it. But at the same time, some people finished it. I think Mikael finished it in 3 minutes.
Yeah,
or 3.5 minutes, and it was 3 rounds of that.
Yeah, that's 75 meters. Right?
I think
good. Yeah,
Kenneth Leverage did really well on that. I watched a clip of him that he a lot of them were trying to push it. Yeah, flat.
Yes,
and he just tipped it onto its side and
rolled it.
Yeah, it's just I guess if you're allowed to do that, then that's smart.
Yeah, yeah.
But it just. Holding your breath underwater, as long as you could say, it's dangerous, whatever. Yeah. As long as they had the right safety people there, which I'm sure they did. Yes. Holding your breath underwater is hard.
It's hard.
Yeah. Moving an object. I guess that's something kind of military style.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not
if you gave that to a Marine, would they'd be able to do that? That'd be something that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they've done it before. Jonesy, you're always one for strange exercise. If I was to give you a brief to program a workout for either CrossFit Games or a fitness competition that was sort of, we're talking here almost on the limit of is this silly? Is it, shouldn't we be doing it? What would you like to see in there, mate? How would that go?
I wouldn't mind seeing a rock climb or something.
A rock climb? Yeah, just a rock face that you just had to get to the top of?
Yeah. Like bouldering.
And then make sure there's mattresses.
Yeah, obviously some safety things in place.
Yeah, I'd like to see a rock climb. I think that's a good...
That would be cool.
Yeah,
that was great.
That'd be really cool.
At the last Desert Warrior, that was I think for all of us, that was one of our favourite challenges when we had to go across that thing, just holding on to the...
when you're holding on.
That was super hard, wasn't it?
One thing that got ridiculed quite a bit was the ball throw. In 2011.
Yeah, right.
But if you think about, you remember it was a softball, so it's bigger than a baseball, isn't it?
Yeah.
And people would complain because all the Americans who had the baseball background were a lot better. But throwing a ball it had to be within a certain direction, and from max distance. It's a really good test. It's explosive. It's accurate. They don't test accuracy and coordination very often.
Yeah. I mean, when you think back to it, you think back to some of the field events in the track and field in the Olympics, javelin, discus, shot put. I remember the first time I saw someone throw a discus, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? This is an Olympic event just to get this disc and throw it. But then when you look at it, and you have to keep that within that certain area as well, don't you? I
think it'd be really cool to start seeing some more, start branching out into some other sports. And we use weightlifting, and we've started using a lot of strongman stuff in CrossFit. They used at the Invitational was on last night. Yeah, and they used stones instead of barbells.
Great picture of Camille LeBlanc with a stone. Yeah, anyone see it?
That's what you're
backwards.
That's what you're supposed to look like,
mate. Do you see the picture that I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know exactly which one.
Wow, I don't know if that it motivates people in the right way.
That's because people don't understand it.
Correct. Correct.
It's got the reason that probably the reason they haven't put strongman in for a while is because of things like that.
Yeah.
And you read all the comments like, "Oh, look at her form. This is worse." But she's an extremely strong girl with incredibly explosive hip extension, and that's the position you end up in. Like,
what about we buy some cricket balls, get outside here, and just throw it as far as you can for the class? Hope there's no cars.
Yeah, we get a ball.
That cat. You know that cat that walks around? I hate that cat
just get the cat.
It's been here ever since we've been here.
It's so annoying.
It's hustling.
Yeah. You know, but I remember when we were in Engine and we had some of the kids' classes and we actually drew those targets on the wall. And people throwing it was just tennis balls, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You either threw overhand or underhand at the wall.
Tarantula was good at that game.
I did a competition once.
Most adults couldn't hit it.
Yeah. I did a competition once in the UK that was like 3 minutes of shoulder to overhead, and then 3 minutes of max pull-ups, and then it was I think it was a minute, and you had a board in front of you that was angled, and a ball so that it bounced back towards you.
Right.
And you had to throw with your right hand, catch with your left.
Nice.
Throw with your left hand, catch with your right. And you would accumulate it, and you could stop like whenever you wanted.
Whenever you want. And each rep's a rep.
Yeah, and on the very last throw, I was like, I'd gone like unbroken the whole time, loads of reps, and just whizzed it over the board. My left hand on the very last one.
Why? Because the board was a certain size, and you had to hit that board.
But accuracy test, like it's actually throwing stuff with your left hand is really hard, and like it's technically part of fitness.
What was the distance?
It was quite close, like
2 or 3 meters. Yeah. There we go.
Just enough so the ball bounced back to you.
Let's see what we see. This weekend is the finals weekend of the DFC. The top 25 athletes of male and female have been invited to it's at the Dubai Mall at the ice rink. And am I right in saying it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday again? 3 days?
I'd like to see that box come back, but used in a bit more of an exciting environment rather than
just
so many reps.
Over it. Yeah.
Like maybe with something to do, barbell on one side, get over,
do
some gymnastics on the other side.
Handstand push-ups against it.
Yeah.
Jump back.
I think they could...
Diane over the box.
Was it that high?
They've said some...
It's as high as that.
I had to jump to get over it.
You have to jump to get over it. And that you'd only get your elbows on and then you push up.
Girls.
They had a box. They had like a 1.5-foot box to jump onto it. But actually, I think that made it a bit harder because they couldn't have as good a run-up. The
best tip for that, if anyone's listening, cover your body in water. Pour water all over the top of it and you just slide straight over. I figured it out on the second way round, and I would literally just slip over the box. I was like,
That's why I took my shorts off. A lot more slippery.
But they've teased some like pretty. They said they're going to do some really out there stuff. So
they might do.
Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad.
I think it's quite limited to what they can maybe do in the ice rink. I don't know.
Ice skating.
Maybe they just rip up the floor and do ice skating.
Like 1K
skating.
Nice.
1K for speed.
Cinnabon's right there. So just go get a Cinnabon and watch.
Oh, so there is an event. It's called the Beer Mile. Watched it on YouTube the other day, and you have to neck a beer.
Yeah.
All these running geeks, like proper good running geeks.
This is where your running would be okay.
You have to neck a beer and then run a mile. And honestly, the hooter goes off, and these guys just and they scull it down, and the judge has gone, I think he's got a bit too much froth in there. He's a bit slow, and then they start to run. But proper running geeks.
Pretty fast miles though. Like.
Yeah, they're not too slow at all, man. I can't remember what won it, but I was just more interested to see if someone's going to fall over. Nice. Doesn't really go hand in hand. But that's this weekend. DFC, get down and see it. Before the weekend, to kick off your weekend, Thursday morning, come down to Inner Talks 8, Scott Ragsdale. Go and check out InnerFight.com/InnerTalks8. You'll see all about that. The guy's incredible. Recently got 15 stitches in his leg. We'll talk about how he got that.
I haven't seen him since then. Is he?
I mean, he was in this morning. Okay. Yeah, he's cool. And 7 Ironmans in 7 days. Unbelievable. You know, it's he really is a cool guy. And I had lunch with him the other day to speak about how we're going to let it run. And the objective is obviously we share as much of his experience as we can with people to motivate people. And sort of he's learned a lot through what he's done. So that's this Thursday. Is absolutely free, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. The following weekend on the 18th, Celebrate Fitness. There's obviously we've worked a little bit on the workouts. We're talking a little bit about the teams. Fancy dress option is there. Santa Claus uniform.
That's flax.
For flanners.
When does... I think Anton's already gone by then, isn't he?
Yeah, there's a few people that will leave.
Anton's not there, is he not?
Oh,
no, there's
a
few people. Lee Parker won't be here.
Oh,
that's fine.
That's fine. Bosh.
He's not got the Christmas
spirit.
But
if you are around, if you are with us,
he'll be angry.
come and celebrate fitness. 18th of December, 10 o'clock, and then some food afterwards. It's going to be a great day. Little teaser announcement, something that Phil's been working on for a while now, called the Open Series. I know very little about this. Phil,
it's all on your laptop, right?
What is the Open Series? Is it on this piece of paper?
Yeah.
You tell us a little bit about the Open Series. What's going to happen there, mate?
Just a brief outline. We've got three 3-hour seminars. They're going to be going on 1 week after the other.
9 hours of teaching.
Yeah, we'll have a Friday and a Saturday option, and we recommend that you come to all three. You sort of buy it as a package there,
right?
And you're just going to learn everything about the Open. Really, we're going to do a lot of practical stuff to prepare you for the workouts, and then some theory in there as well to help you with goal setting and how to train around it, because everyone gets all super excited and nervous about the Open. Yeah. So really trying, from the experience that I've had, I think this will be my fourth Open.
Right.
Kind of learned a lot of stuff about it and how to prepare. And
one of the most important things as well, mate, that we should highlight, especially at this stage, is that there's an Open for what's known as RX, which is sort of what
the traditional.
Obviously, I will win, and then if you want to enter the scaled version,
I'll win that.
Yeah. You'll win the scaled. Okay, so what are these guys going to do? But it's for everyone. There's a scaled version and there's an RX version, and I think, to be honest with you, I think the material that you've prepared for this Open seminar series is as useful, if not more useful, for the people that are just doing the scaled version or entering for the first time.
And it kind of gives you an idea as well. If you're unsure, and you kind of think of which one will I be doing, you'll know by the end of the three seminars which one you should be doing, and your mind will be set, you'll be ready.
Yeah.
You don't want to go into it thinking, I'm going to do scaled, and then you get there and you're like, I could have done RX, or maybe the other way around. So we're going to let you know everything about that, what movements to sort of expect. Obviously, I can't predict what workouts will come up, but there is certain trends and patterns in the movements that have come up, and you can make pretty educated guesses. I think one thing to point out is that everyone last year was getting, I'll have to go scaled because the RX is going to get so much harder, and that really wasn't the case. The RX stayed the same,
right? And
the scaled is a scaled version, so literally anyone
could do it.
It wasn't like, I'm not even good enough to do RX, and now they're making it even harder.
Yeah,
it's not like that.
I'll make sure my mum's in town during the Open. Come to the Open Series, and she can enter the scale as well. Why not?
As long as she pays, that's fine. Yeah,
yeah, obviously she'll pay. But just to reiterate, it's a 3-part series. Each part is a 3-hour.
Yes,
pretty much. It's
about 2 hours of practical, and it's about 2 hours 15 of practical, and about a 45-minute theory in there each week.
And there will be it will run 3 weekends in a row. There will be 2 sessions, one on a Friday, one on a Saturday. So if you're a Friday person, you'll remain a Friday person. If you're a Saturday person, you'll remain a Saturday person. Yeah. And there is 12 slots on each.
So 24 in the weekend.
So there is only 24 slots in the whole thing.
But you sign up for all 3 weeks. It's not the same seminar 3 weeks back to back. It's a 3-part seminar.
It's a 3-part. So you sign up for all 3 weeks, and priority will be given to people that commit to the whole 3 weeks. And if there's still spaces, we'll fill them up with people that want to drop in for a week and think they have more important things to do, which clearly don't. If you want to, we'll give you a chance to pre-register now, and there will be a cut-off payment date. But if you want to pre-register, you can pre-register for that. That's all that we're announcing now. It will go live in the next 10 days to 2 weeks and tell you all about that. But that's the Open Series, led by the 29th fittest man in Alcoz. Phil, let's go.
Moonem rest.
Here's one for you.
Moonem.
Now, I know that this probably isn't something that we should, as married men, Jonesy, be speaking out, but through some of my research, I was on a website the other day, I think it was on Men's Fitness. There is a new app that's come out that it's a dating app. Right. It's a dating app for gym freaks. It's not the same as Tinder, but it's
Maybe it's my boyfriend finally.
It's
you're getting bored of Tinder.
It's called...
the guy's getting afraid of me.
You should start putting some pictures of Natalie or Hannah up or something like that instead of, do you want to date this?
Yeah.
So it's called Sweet with a double T. And basically, it works. That works like any other dating app. Only the visual experience looks a bit more like Instagram. Some of the questions we ask you are your favorite time of day to work out. So you can just like come in the gym and your average frequencies of workouts per week. And I guess, you know, you could put
so
your PRs on there.
This is based on the people who've been going to the gym for a long time. You become like a bit like excluded from social situations, and you only know how to communicate.
Talking about working
to the
out.
gym, like, oh yeah, man. So
skull crushes.
Do you work out?
Do you want like favorite exercise? Best 2K road?
Do
you want? Yeah.
Training at 11 a.m.
That's Jonesy. Would you like if things were different? Would you use an
I'd
app
get
like
into
that?
this. Definitely.
So would I, mate.
Definitely.
Meet me at the squat rack at.
This is it.
I think like to be fair, if I was single, like it'd be really hard to find someone outside of the gym because I don't go outside the gym. Like so, I can imagine a lot of people would use it.
Like, see what happens. Because it saves you going to a branch.
Met my girlfriend at the gym.
Don't have to spend much money.
You met Beck at the gym, right?
Yeah.
Meet people at the gym. It's a good I'd rather meet someone at a gym than a bar.
Yeah.
There we go. A new app, Carmen. You're obviously in.
Someone will come in the gym soon.
What's the app's name?
Tinder,
you already have
Tinder
it.
Tinder for CrossFit. It's called Sweet.
That's the worst name.
Or Sweat double T, something like that. Men's Fitness, they've got it all over there. But yeah, it's quite interesting. I'm sure Tinder could add a strand of the more
downloading
fitness type.
You said you didn't want to meet someone in the gym.
This is also true.
Yeah.
Not in this gym.
Not it. Oh.
So everyone's nexted.
Everyone. Just get
to
out.
Another gym if you want to date me.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit.
Mr. Abasta, did he marry you the first time?
He met you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no
I'll
comments.
put him on hold.
Put him on hold.
Carsten probably saying.
If I can't find anybody in 5 years, I'll go back.
5 years? Mate, you'll be over 30 then. That's when it
then
all goes down.
Then he doesn't want me anymore. I'm too old.
Here's another interesting one. 3 things you would advise people starting to work out. Carmen. What's the 3 simple things someone hasn't worked out before? What would you advise them?
Don't do it.
Don't start, otherwise you'll end up on Tinder.
Don't go too hard in the beginning, maybe. Just relax.
Relax.
Listen to the coach.
Listen to the coach.
When they say, this is your max, it's probably your max.
Quentin will learn.
Yeah.
Last
thing, smile.
Can you give Phil that advice or what?
I tried, but it's too hard.
It's too late. Jonesy, what's
I don't think smiling's essential. You have to focus.
Someone's just rocked up, mate. Yeah. They're a little bit intimidated, a little bit nervous. First 3 things.
I'd look at their socks. And just see. So black socks would be one.
Socks.
Ankle ones.
Black socks.
Give it a go for at least a month. Don't just like do one workout and then go, no, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
Or it's too hard. Oh, this is way too easy. Whatever it is.
Good ones.
That first month, go hard, get stronger.
Yep.
And try and meet as many people as possible. So
just hang around, chat to people.
Yeah, get stuck into the community side of it. Don't just like come in with earphones. Whoa. And
Scott actually got upset that we gave him a bashing last week, but
about the earphones.
I don't know what it was.
Just about everything.
Just about life.
Yeah. That's my 3, I think. I think I've said 3.
I think there was 2, but still.
You stole mine.
What one?
You stole my 3, all of them.
Don't smile. Don't talk to anyone.
Do not speak.
And if anyone touches my bar, I'll kill them.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. You're not here for fun.
Not fun.
There's no
time. You're here to work.
You're not here to make friends.
No.
Gone.
Don't make friends.
Don't make any friends, especially not with the coaches.
Don't smile because that distracts your focus. And then, that's it. Focus.
That's it.
Yeah.
What would your ones be?
I think your number 1 was probably one of my favourite ones. I think sometimes people come to the gym, or not just to our gym, but go and try something. And I know if you've had a bad experience the first time, it makes it difficult to go back. But I think, if you're going to do something, do it for sort of a month. Even if it's like, I want to commit to martial arts or something like that. Sometimes people come in here and the first time they just love it and they talk to everyone. But I think sometimes it just does take a couple of sessions.
Yeah. I think with the nature of the programming as well, they could come on No,
exactly.
It depends what day you come on a Thursday. Ooh.
Yeah,
Thursday therapy. Everyone's, someone's swearing.
Yeah,
getting all upset about it.
Someone's
Like
bleeding.
It could be slightly intimidating. the first time, maybe.
Yeah.
Or you could come on a pretty casual day, show up to one of the better sessions.
I think that's the main thing, and I think as well. And I mean, I had someone in my class this morning. She'd been to the intro class. Actually, 2 girls had only been to the intro class, and it was kind of their first class. And it was a really hard workout. And they came in at 7:30, and the guys from 6:30 have absolutely smashed themselves. They're lying on the floor outside and whatever, and they're all just like, it's like I could see it in their faces. And actually, one of the girls said to me, "I find you intimidating." Before I'd even said good morning to her, she came up to me. She said, "I find you intimidating." I was like, "Okay," But the point is that. I think when they
you put a pink shirt on now.
Yeah,
calm it down a bit.
Might wear my pink tutu for the Christmas. Is it okay if I wear pink for? I don't know. Could wear that.
Anton won't be here, so
Anton won't be here. So, but yeah, it's kind of like they do get. It's an intimidating environment. A lot of places are intimidating when people have been around. So I think sometimes just relax. You don't have to. The first session isn't the session that you're going to lose the 15 kilos. So that's why I said to these girls this morning, I said, listen, just enjoy it. Just take it super easy. If you feel smoked at any time, just relax more. Just step to one side and have a drink of water. And I think that's sometimes the thing. We probably have this over keen energy that the first session just has to be awesome, and it's not always like that. So yeah,
I would tell people that being sore is okay.
Yeah.
People get they come in like 2 days later and like, can't move my arms. Like, you haven't done any activity for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
For the first month, I remember when I first started, and just everything I did for like the first month was I was just so sore. And then you kind of do things 2 or 3 times, and you're okay after that. I think
even you are. But then there's some workouts that, I mean, even that workout we did the other day, like Friday and Saturday, I was sore as hell. Like I was sore, and things that I hear other people say, I can't sit down on the toilet. Like, I couldn't sit down on the toilet. I'm holding the toilet door.
First time you do 150 wall balls.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the worst.
It's the worst.
Ever.
It's just, and still, if we haven't done 150 wall balls for a while and you go into 150 or more, it hurts a lot. So
stairs are great. Yeah,
stairs are
fine.
Toilet.
Worst thing I ever did was move into a house with stairs. It was so much better. I had an apartment, had an elevator, walked out, walked in. That was it. But yeah, I think that's a good point as well, mate. You're going to feel a little bit sore,
house
aren't
sucks,
you?
Marcus.
Yeah, it does.
I'll swap you if you want.
That's why I moved out.
Carmen actually
After
moved
2
out.
months, I didn't want to stay there anymore. I was like, come on, no elevator.
No stairs.
This is a good one. Guys, I love the podcast, and seems you guys all eat quite well. Why, thank you. I'm struggling on food prep generally and feel pretty unorganized the whole time. Is this Jess? I know this is my issue, but I'm just looking for some tips and tricks that you guys may have to make things easier – better. Thanks, guys. Alice. What have we got for Alice? Any tips and tricks on food prep just to make life a little bit easier, if that's possible?
Organisation is
the
key.
Slow cookers.
Slow cookers we've brought up before.
Roast meals.
Roast meal.
So last a few days.
Cook enough for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, I reckon that's a bit
number one.
Yep.
Number one that you only have to cook 2 or 3 days.
Prepare the evening before.
Prepare the evening before.
Get some Tupperware.
Yeah, that was the most.
Get some Tupperware, and if you don't have any, just come over here.
Get told off by your wife.
We've got. Yeah, I noticed Beck actually started writing your initials on yours.
Yeah.
Didn't help.
That's because she says that Lily.
My mom didn't.
She says that Lily steals them.
Apparently Lily takes some, and
you leave them here for so long. I think Lily just takes them.
Yeah. But when I saw yours coming in with your name, when I brought one the other day that I needed washing up, and I thought, well, if I don't put my name on it, someone else might take it. So I actually put my name on it, and then I used it a week later at home, and I'm like, this is my one with my name on it. Preparation. Cooking every 3 days. Cook more than you need in that particular sitting, but don't eat it all in that sitting. Any other good ideas?
Simple things as well. Like when I was doing, I don't want to do it now because I buy my food in just because I'm running out of time, and we found a decent place to be able to get it.
Yeah.
But I went through a phase of maybe 3 or 4 months where every Saturday afternoon I would do my food prep, and I got it down to 2 hours to make 6 days.
6 days of food in 2 hours.
4 meals a day.
Thanks for the water, Jonesy. Yeah.
you want some?
No.
You got some?
No, I'm fine, mate.
It's okay.
I've got none.
Shut up.
So routine?
Like 4 meals for 6 days.
Yeah.
And
just get it done.
Make sure you clear out your freezer.
Is it something? Obviously, we speak about prioritising sleep, but if you're going to get into that, obviously that's probably something that needs to go in your calendar, in your agenda. You know, if it's a Tuesday night, you're going to cook for Wednesday, Thursday, or if it's a Saturday afternoon, just block it out and do it.
If you have the luxury of having a maid at your house,
yes, then
make use out of that.
Tell the maid.
Then when the maids cook for you, bring it for your work colleagues.
Yes.
Is that what you're going to say?
That's a deal.
Yeah.
What does your maid cook? She's intimidated by me.
Yeah.
That's
She's
okay.
intimidated by me too, I think.
I understand that as well. What does she cook for you?
Whatever you ask.
Yeah.
What have you asked her to cook for us?
I don't ask anything.
Not yet.
Because I order, so.
That's the end of that one.
Start asking.
Start asking. Once she feels more comfortable with me.
Speaking about foods, last week we had the top 10 foods to boost your sex drive.
What's this week?
This week, top 10 foods to gain muscle mass. Number 1.
What's the name of the website?
This is on Breaking Muscle, the one that you're a contributor to, Phil Hesketh.
Okay.
Red meat.
It's a creditable source then.
Very much so. Bob Tucano advert on the side. Must be a good one. Yeah, that was when I saw it, mate, I was the same. I thought, I bet you they're going to put meat first. Number 1 is lean beef. Number 2... takes the taste away from it, but probably quite smart for leanness, skinless chicken. Mm-hmm. Number 3, which I think is a bit old school, obviously I used...
Oats?
No.
Eggs.
4 is eggs. 3 is cottage cheese. I remember when we were at uni, we used to just eat cottage cheese like no end. Cottage cheese, potato, tuna, end of story. Just like as much as you can. Huh. You not have any of that, Phil? Didn't get into that?
I wasn't a massive on it.
No. And then I realised that dairy didn't quite work. Eggs. Number 5, whey protein. Number 6, I'll be all over that. Tuna and other fish. I was having a conversation with Holly about this, actually. Need more fish. I made my orders. She's my... same as you had the maid.
Yeah,
she does.
She's your maid.
I won't call her my maid because I have a maid as well, but she's my cook.
You should ask Kareem. He brings up loads in.
He does,
Yeah, fish.
Brings it.
Yeah.
So he's got some mahi-mahi.
Really?
Yeah.
You had it for number 3. It's actually number 7, oatmeal.
Okay.
Oatmeal is an ideal source of carbs due to its low glycemic index and the fact that it's minimally processed.
I like oats.
Yeah, some people do, some people don't.
There's potatoes on there.
Rice.
Whole grains, so brown rice.
Potatoes is definitely gains.
Fruit and vegetables, and then number 10 is just healthy fats. So some interesting things there. I don't know if there's anything really outside of that. 10's quite a big number, actually. I think for the food to make you horny last week was only about 5, wasn't it, or 7?
Yeah, I think so.
7 things. There's 10 things there. I don't know. I'm not much into oatmeal.
What was the number 1? I missed that.
Lean. Where were you? Lean meat.
I prefer the.
Not for now. Last week.
Oysters.
Oh, you weren't there, were you?
Oh, you weren't there.
I prefer the muscle menu to the horny menu.
Do you?
Last week, just like
it was not that great.
Do you want like
asparagus,
garlic, peppers?
Yeah, chilies.
Chilies, yeah, that was it.
It's like the worst toilet concoction ever.
It was
yeah,
just like all the worst foods.
But I think it's if you take at least 4 to 6 of these are pretty cool, and I think what's in pretty much everyone's of our diets as well, and you know the lean meats or meat, some chicken, tuna fish, and then lots of vegetables. None of us really eat that much fruit. There's definitely some eggs kicking around for most people.
You eat fruit.
Well, a little bit of fruit occasionally.
Lately, for breakfast, I've been having 6 eggs, 1 massive green apple, 2 cups of oats, and with the protein that we've got downstairs. Yeah,
you mix it in with that?
Yeah, just shake it up and then and then put the superfood in it as well. Yeah,
that's bit of superfood in there as well. I guess they get that from the fruit and vegetables, that they're going for actual foods to gain muscle. So that's what you need. I'd be a little bit careful at times with the stuff, to be honest, like having too much whey protein. I think that's one of the things that people are trying to gain muscle and they just end up getting really fat because they generally go to stuff like loads of milk, loads of oatmeal, loads of potatoes and rice, and loads of whey protein. And I think their balance on those is probably less than what it should be in their balance to protein, so they kind of fill up on the other stuff, because I think a lot of the time it's damned expensive as well. There we go. There's those 10. Obviously, if you missed the horny foods, check out podcast 192 if you obviously want to do different things this weekend.
And if you go on the app.
Now, this is a question that we've developed. We're going to appoint one technical question of the week. We had some interesting feedback from a couple of our listeners that, although we thought we were getting super technical on Captain Brooks's question last week about how he should be doing his gymnastics and that SMS work and how he should be using that 20 minutes, we got some really good feedback about it. So we're going to have in this section technical question of the week. So if you do have a technical question, fire it over. If it's been answered before, listen to the back podcast, and if it hasn't, or you still want some clarity on it, ask us. So technical question for this week is, hi guys, I've been working out for just over a year now, and at the start noticed some really fast gains in my strength numbers, but they have since plateaued a little bit and the increments are slower. I do not follow a specific strength program, but try and make sure I cover everything weekly and squat at least twice a week. The question I have is therefore twofold. 1, do you guys think I should be following a strength cycle, such as something like Wendler, etc.? And 2, is strength about more than just the compound lift? Should I be doing accessory stuff more? Appreciate any thoughts. Thanks, John from the UK. So, numbers have plateaued. Number 1, should we, if we want to develop strength, should we be following a strength cycle? What's our thoughts?
Yeah. I think just address, like what he said.
Whoop.
Sorry.
No.
Oh.
You're not okay. Why are you not okay?
Here he is.
Yeah,
you're there now.
The gains that you get at the start is what you can expect, and it happens to pretty much everyone. Kind of call them like the beginner gains.
Yeah.
Like when you first start, it's just that initial exposure to all the different movements, especially if you haven't really been training before. Even if you have and you're coming into CrossFit and you add in all those new movements, you just get relatively good at stuff very fast.
Very fast, yeah.
Like, you might go from 60 kilos to, I think I went from my first session, maybe I back squatted 100 kilos, and I was up to 200 within a year.
Right.
And then 3 years later, is at 220.
Right.
Yeah. So it's just that you get those like really fast gains at the start, and then you've kind of grown in the strength's equivalent to what you've got for your body, and then it takes longer to sort of build that new strength. So you can definitely expect that to happen. So
it's normal. What's going on here is totally normal. You start any program, you start in the gym, you start, if you're on your own. John, he doesn't mention if he's at a gym, if he's following a thing, he just asks about it. But at the start, everyone can expect pretty big gains. So then what happens in the plateau?
If you get to that point, then I don't think you have to start panicking too much about, like I just said, like in the last 3 years, my back squat's gone up 20 kilos. I haven't panicked and decided to try all these different, different weird routines. And maybe I could have done some different stuff, but I'm pretty happy with the progress that I've made. Still being able to, my mindset kind of shifts from what's my 1 rep max to like what's my bottom number, or like I heard someone call it a 1 rep minimum, which I thought was pretty cool. So trying to hit that like every single time you do a back squat, rather than going for 220, I'm just always making sure I can hit 90% every single time that I do it.
And I think there are cases where, like, say someone's 5, they could do like, I don't know, 120 kilos for 5 reps, and then all of a sudden they can do that for 10 reps. Like, that's pretty evident that you've got stronger. Again, people get caught up in the 1 rep maxes again. So
I'll sort the water out.
Thanks, mate.
No problem. Keep talking.
Yeah. It's probably the main thing is that you get to the end of that sort of, you start that plateau.
That sounds weird.
Stop being weird. Everyone calls it a plateau, like because the 1 rep max isn't necessarily going up. But like you just said, like really, are you actually hitting a plateau?
Thank you.
Like you're still continuing to get strong, but maybe just not in the 1 rep max.
Exactly,
sense.
And how you're cycling a barbell and kind of
like you said, every time you come in, that 80% feels easier and easier to the point where you can do it for 10 reps.
Definitely.
And it just gets harder. I think I wrote an article about it before, about when you get to the stage where it's really hard to come when you're doing a 1 rep max, you have to really prepare for it.
Yeah.
And everything else has to sort of fall into place as well, rather than showing up tired and then getting upset because you can't hit a new 1 rep max, at 6:30 in the morning when you've only slept for a few hours.
So for you, mate, from that, following a specific strength cycle is like, don't get frustrated that you're not continuing to make those gains. Just keep going, and obviously you've got the gains you've got because of what you've been doing. So no real need to get stressed and jump into a cycle. Yeah,
I don't go too specific, but I do actually do a lot of the stuff I do is in really short strength cycles.
Right.
Or maybe not strength, just. For everything that I've been doing it for the assault bike recently. We've just started one for the sleds, doing all my gymnastics. It's all in kind of like 3 to 4 weeks blocks.
Right.
I realised like a couple of months ago that I'm really bad at snatching from the hang. I just hit a PB snatch from the floor at 130.
Yeah.
And then the week later I went for a max hang snatch and I couldn't get 110. Yeah. I just hadn't done it for a long time. So I wrote down like a little 3-week sort of mini plan where I would do 5 sets of 5 at around 70 to 80% to get some good volume in and work on the technique. The week after it would go a little bit heavier, but I took the volume down, so it was 5 sets of 3 at around 80 to 90%. The week after that, I went heavier again, but less reps. It was about 6 or 7 sets of 1 at around 90 to 95%, and the week after that, I PR'd my hang snatch.
Right.
So it's just about those little mini cycles and not always... Like it's really hard if you to just stress and be like, I've got to go for a heavy single all the time, got to do this, and just building that base volume sometimes, going back 20, 30%, getting in loads of reps, so getting in 25 to 30 reps at 60 to 70% with really good technique. The week after you feel a little bit more confident to put the weight on because your technique feels good, and the week after that you're feeling strong, the technique's good, everything falls into place, and you get a new 1 rep max.
Carmen, you answer this question.
The same question.
You followed a strength program for a long time.
Yeah, well...
And you're incredibly freaking strong. So
in
what's
some
your
things
thoughts?
Well, like, the conjugate style that I follow is you need to be able to max out every time. But the way we do it is we max out on a different movement all the time. So, like yesterday in the class, we had to do a back squat but reverse bands. So people came to me and they asked, why would we do this? It's going to make it easier. Why not just take less weight then? I said, yeah, but that's just the purpose of why we do it with the bands. It will make the movement easier. But you will squat more weight. So you'll max out in this.
Right.
So that's like a new max. And then the next week we'll do something else.
So for those that don't understand... What exactly is reverse band back squat?
Oh, okay. So there are bands above you on the rack.
Yep.
And then you put them around your bar.
So the bar is getting pulled up.
Yeah. So which means is like when you're standing up, the band will not pull that much off your bar. But once you're in the bottom of your squat, the band will help you So maybe you will only squat like... If there's 100 kilo on the bar, you only squat 70 kilos from the bottom. Yeah. And once you go up... the weight increases.
Right.
So you get stronger there.
So the way that you're doing it, in difference to the way that I would do it, like, I'd pick my movements that I want to get good at. Okay, so I've got snatch, clean and jerk, and then a back squat, deadlift, and a press. And I pretty much just only use those movements. Yeah. And I just do different, just those movements and restart cycles over and over and again. Right. Whereas kind of what you do is like just every single variation of that. Every single variation of those movements, like putting bands to make the resistance more on the way down, make it more on the way up, add chains onto it.
Because if we wouldn't change it and you would always max out in the same movements, you will overtrain. Like you can't always max out.
When would you revisit? So if you've taken the example of what you use for pure strength.
Yeah.
So pure strength's been running now for 6 weeks.
Yeah. 5-6 weeks.
About 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Since the start of November actually. So coming into 6 weeks. So it's simple. Okay, you've got 5 or 6 different variations of back squat that you're going to max out at for max effort lower. But when does it actually come round again? Or does it?
It's just random.
Just randomly.
Yeah.
So although it's a specific program, it's still random, as opposed to something like what you've used before, Wendler.
Yeah.
531.
I really like that. It was good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Big strength gains?
Every time I've made clients use it, as long as you stick with it, I've noticed
and
the difference.
what's the the time frame for that, mate?
I think it's worth doing at least 2 or 3 cycles.
Right. It's 4 weeks.
It's 4 weeks. It's a 4 week cycle.
4 weeks a deload one.
The 5-3-1 and then a deload week.
Yeah.
And then you can start again.
Yeah,
we did it for deadlift.
Yeah.
And I think it really helped. You have that sort of max out set at the end as well.
The cool thing is that it always goes your 90% of what your max is actually your max, so it's quite safe as well.
Right.
And I think for this guy John, he's been training over a year now.
Yeah.
I personally think percentages and stuff don't really work for the beginner
at the start.
It sounds like he's been training a bit. If he's never done any cycles, a simple cycle like the 5-3-1 would, I reckon he'd benefit from it.
That's what the kind of stuff that I would put in, just especially with deadlifts and things like that, just real basic. And that's kind of the way I said about when I did the little snatch cycle as well, just more volume, a lighter load, and then build it up. I really find that helps.
And I think with that program, sorry mate, stick with the main lifts like you're saying, and just have a really good reason why you're going to maybe just pick a couple of accessory lifts.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that leads into the second part. Is strength about more than just we've spoken a lot here about compound lifts, and even Carmen, your lifts are sort of pretty compound.
Yeah.
Should we be doing more? Should we be doing accessory stuff more? Like, should is that the key to getting stronger?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. It's difference in opinion for me and her. Like, what did you do it for a year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I probably did 10% of the assistance work that you did in that whole year, and I would say that we're both strong CrossFitters. Like, completely different ways of going about it.
Yeah, but I think as well, mate. For a lot of people, or from what I've seen, for a lot of just general people, and let's generalise John. He's 30 years old or 34 years old. He's just got back into fitness. He's been doing it for a year, made good progress at the start, but there might be some things there that are a little bit missing. He's not young and athletic anymore. He's by no means old, but so are these accessory movements, from what I've seen, they're really helping this type of guy. And for anyone on that sort of category, we're seeing, if they stay away from those lifts, and I think sometimes psychologically as well, it's like, okay, I can back squat 150, and I've not managed to get past 150 for the last 6 months. And I think a lot of the time people are taking that into it, and every time they go and okay, I'm going to try and back squat 150, and they fail. I can't even get that. But when they start doing some accessory stuff, we're seeing the numbers get higher.
Yeah.
I can't disagree with that, mate. I can't disagree with that. It's Mohammed. I just did a couple of band sessions with him, and we just went for a 1 rep max bench press. I know that's not part of the program, but I just felt like it. And he got like a 6 or 7 kilo PB.
Yeah.
And he was so stoked. And now I made him do sleds, and then he wasn't stoked. But that's okay.
What I like about the bands is that you push under pressure, and then once you do it without that pressure of those bands, it feels like, what's this? Like the last part where you have to really lock your arms out. It's so easy when the bands.
And for those that don't have bands or aren't following something like that,
buy one.
Buy one.
I think bands are very useful. Yeah, if you're using them right.
Even I think dialing back to sort of what we've all maybe come through as well is more introducing sort of more bodybuilding movements into what people are doing. Actually helps a lot as well. So sort of, a lot of the time, sort of the old school, tricep extension, sat down in front of the mirror, Jonesy, you'd have definitely done it. But, just putting something simple, Phil's not happy with it.
Not happy with the scale.
Putting something simple and basic like that in, I know, Carmen, you've used a lot of skull crushers.
Yeah, but it's something everybody can do.
Yeah, I think we see a lot more. I mean, you were speaking the other day as well, Jonesy, about more posterior chain work.
Yeah.
So you want to see the glutes.
Yeah, man, glutes firing, because some people are just kind of missing that about that glute activation.
Yeah, I mean, we did speak about it the other week as well. That getting that building. What was it? Building the booty or something like that. Childish thing. But
would you agree that sort of program that you guys are kind of, you're almost not you so much now, but you did for a year, and you two are pretty much following that style of program.
Yeah.
You kind of have to just almost focus on just that and not so much the CrossFit as a whole. I
mean, mate, technically it should be that, but I think this is where it comes to satisfaction of working out as well. It's Jonesy and I managing to get through those sessions in about 40 minutes. We've probably got 90 minutes in the day that we can work out, except some days where we want to work out more. So we can still incorporate some CrossFit into it I mean, we finished yesterday and went for a mile with the sled.
CrossFit.
Finished on
That was good.
is that CrossFit? Yeah, finished on Saturday and did a whole bunch of muscle ups. So I think I know, like, scientifically it's a little bit counterintuitive to be saying, okay, I'm going to do 40 minutes of conjugate and then I'm going to do 3 CrossFit workouts and totally smash my body up, because it's just not going to work. And the next time you come to do one of the sort of conjugate style sessions, you're not going to be ready to do it. And that's why this 4-day a week that they've used at conjugate, I mean, they've produced some of the strongest people, right?
Yeah.
But if this guy wants to
not you.
if his goal is to get better at CrossFit, would you? I just think that the 4 days a week, would you tell him, like, okay, well, you kind of have to assess what his goals really are, because if he wants to get almost competitive at CrossFit, then you kind of have to almost dedicate, like you dedicated that full year to doing conjugate, right? And during that time, you weren't amazing at regionals. Like, you've had a very similar way up to me. Like, you were around the middle of the pack, and so was I doing it the way that I was doing it. I've had pretty much more of a general just CrossFit, like, for the last 3 years, and we both kind of climbed up the same way. Do you think that, like, was it really beneficial to you to take that full year off to just focus on the conjugate, and you feel much better for it now, like, coming into this season? Like, that you don't have to do that stuff as much anymore because you're already, like, super strong?
I feel like it took a lot of energy to do all those accessory work for me during that year, and now not doing that much, it gives me more energy to work harder in my workouts and my gymnastics and stuff.
But so you just always knew that the end goal is, like, okay, I've got a year to just really focus on getting good, like, super strong, because I know that especially as a girl, it's super beneficial to be to be strong, because the fitness kind of comes pretty quickly, really. If you're naturally athletic, it kind of you can pick that up pretty quick.
Phil, I agree with you 100%, mate. I think more people should be taking time out to focus on getting stronger. It comes back to something that I think we have spoken about and will speak about a million times. Let's look at a muscle up. If you just come to the gym and you follow most gyms' general program, okay, we've developed other programs to help people, but if you followed our general program, it would take you a long time to be able to do multiple muscle ups. Yes. It just would, because we're putting out there a general program, because we've got weight loss people, we've got this. Yeah. This is why we've started different classes. Now, if you jumped out of our general class program and jumped into Saturday pure strength, Sunday pure strength, Monday gymnastics, Tuesday pure strength, rested on Wednesday, did Thursday therapy on Thursday, and maybe went to brunch on Friday, maybe not, because you'd be shit at pure strength the next day, I can guarantee you in a far shorter time frame you'll be able to do muscle ups.
You would have not through the learning of it, but you would have the strength and upper body pulling strength to be able to. You'd
have the strength to do it, and that's why I actually think it's quite funny and almost ridiculous that people go from, you know, I've seen people that have been doing the Open for 3 years, and they still, if we put in a workout that, let's take it, what was it, 150 wall balls, 90 double unders, AMRAP, 30 muscle ups,
and then AMRAP wall balls,
AMRAP wall balls. I guarantee you that of the people that did that 3 years ago, 80% would not have more than about a 15% increase in their score now. Only the people that have, but if you did it or Carmen did it, you would have a huge increase in your score. You know why? Because you've taken the time to get stronger and to develop it. Those other guys who have just followed a general gym program, a general fitness program, have not got any stronger. That's my thoughts. And they'll get frustrated as hell, even though they're going to come to your seminar series about the Open. They're going to get frustrated as hell because the only thing they're going to focus on is week 3 when the muscle ups come up and that they can't do them. And that's, I mean, the whole thing that actually most people never even got to the muscle ups because they couldn't do 150 wall balls, 90 double unders is a whole other subject. Yeah. But that's the thing as well, mate. So I think you're absolutely right. People should be taking a time out. People should attack their workout different.
And you've almost got to come to terms with, like, okay, especially, this is more advice to a younger, maybe early 20s or sort of 25 there, and they still think, okay, I've got a shot at going to the games.
Yeah.
Like, like you did, take that full year out, but during that time, don't get frustrated that maybe your cardio's not great.
This is the biggest thing.
Like the whole, I'm guessing that year, I don't know because I didn't really know you then. That year you weren't anywhere near your best at cardio.
Well,
like in the a year of strength training.
Still a good runner.
Yeah, like in running, I never been good. But like I did like also like the strength, and then we did like a 5K row, and then like all the accessory after it and stuff. So
you'd still do direct
I still
kind
do,
of cardio,
yeah,
just
like
not a.
It started at January when I started to do more cardio.
Closer to the open.
Yeah, closer to the open, and actually it helped.
Yeah,
but I think that's part of it as well. Is that, you know, if you look at, and that's why I said that schedule the way I said it. If you look at Thursday, it's a super hard workout. It's always going to give you a lot of satisfaction, but you just have to be not frustrated that you're on that program. And I think, to be honest, I think that's what I'm going through at the moment as well. Is that, you know, me and Jonesy get through the conjugate stuff. It takes about 40 minutes, and then we sort of just look at each other and say,
"You've got a lot of other stuff going on though as well." Like, do you think that sort of thing is really benefiting? Like, that's probably the best way you can go about training.
It probably is
what you've got.
Yeah, it probably is, mate, and it's time efficient as well. But at the moment, I'm like, okay, I want to get stronger, and I think as well is like, I think following something that's a little bit of structure and that's really helping, especially as I'm not get older, but get older and my body gets beaten up a little bit more. Like, you feel a lot of difference I know if I take my muscle ups, like I focus a lot on my core for about 2 months, and I became a lot better at doing muscle ups because I was doing, 200 GHDs a week, and it's the same now in your triceps. So I think to put it there, but I think the frustration part of it, people just will get frustrated. They'll continue to compare themselves to others, and they'll say, oh yeah, but during this phase, okay, now I'm able to do muscle ups, but my snatch is terrible.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't do snatch, because I focus on my muscle ups, but it's different. But I think that's the bottom line. I think people need to do exactly what we're sort of getting at here, and take some time out and not be frustrated. I mean, the only reason why you're going to get out of shape physically is if you eat like shit. If you're like that session we did on Thursday was, I was absolutely smoked at the end of it.
It's pretty high intent. Those sessions that you guys have been doing, like
super
looks
hard.
like pretty non-stop stuff for like 45 minutes to an hour.
That's it.
And moving heavy weights, like you're burning a lot of calories. Like metabolism will be super high after that as well. So,
and like Carmen says, like it's like you've got 2 max effort days. Like, you're maxing out twice a week, and you're not just maxing out on that one lift. Like, you're maxing out on every movement you do that day. Like, I couldn't have put more weight on the bar for the step ups. Like, 60 was our max. It was over. I wanted it to stop. Like, it was hard.
That's when you know.
Yeah,
that's when you know you're doing it good.
To stop.
Yeah.
I'm still not going to do pure strength.
No, you're not.
But you don't need to do pure strength because you're one of the strongest athletes in Europe, maybe.
Oh, yes.
That's not a compliment.
It's just facts.
It's just a fact, but...
There we go. Hopefully that answers John's question. I'm away next week. I have no idea if there will be a podcast.
There won't be a podcast.
Relax. We'll probably play out one of the old ones, but we'll be back the following week. Remember,
we'll just cut this one halfway through.
It's gone for quite a long time. We could do that. Remember, folks, this Thursday morning, if you're listening to the podcast before Thursday, you should be here at Inner Talks. If not, Inner Talks, InnerFight.com/InnerTalks8. That's exactly where you need to go to look at that. All the video, the YouTube, the file. We'll play out Inner Talks 8 next week instead of a podcast, so you guys don't have to worry about fucking it up. And DFC this weekend.
Your fault.
Yeah. Good luck to Ben, Maria,
good
Laura.
Luck to all of those guys. Yeah. And good luck to the guys that have been to DFC and are now going to come back and jump into that strength phase that we're talking about to get stronger, to be better next year, like Scott. I think that's going to be really beneficial for him. And of course, one other thing, the music list is up in the gym. If people want some playlists and some music, let us know, or mail us, winning@innerfight.com. If you want your technical question to be the technical question of the week, the following week, not next week, mail it to us as well, and mail any questions, winning@innerfight.com. Until next time. Bye.